Okay, let's see. Oh my god. I don't have pickpocket. Alright.
Did you not hear me? This place is closed. No learning today about how everything happens according to the obscure calculus of an indecipherable plan. Why are you asking? Who are you?
The people she tried to kill.
By the architect. I had no idea. I wish I could say it was unbelievable. I was afraid she was becoming a danger to herself and to others. But this is horrifying.
Yeah, imagine how we feel. Why don't you tell us where she is so we can make sure she ain't being a danger to herself or others? If you say so. You're the boss, Commander.
I haven't seen her since before the corporatists invaded the island. I'm afraid she's going to do something terrible, but I just don't know what. Maybe none of this would have happened had I not introduced her to Victor. How did... You saw her terminal, didn't you? Victor's an Order archivist. We were all friends for a time. But then, shortly before the schism, they started talking to some others inside the Order. That's when things became tense. I started to become uneasy, scared, really. She kept getting angrier with the Order the more she worked with Victor and her other contacts. On top of everything else, it became just too much for me. Among other things. For some reason, she was obsessed with the cliffhanger ending of Chapter 6. It was the one where capitalist fanatics brought complete destruction upon Arcadia. But you know how it works. It was somehow miraculously saved at the beginning of the next chapter. Didn't matter to DeVries, though. She just kept going over it and over it. Would have talked to a Crabble about it if there was no one else to listen. That, and the invasion itself, set her mind to dark things. I begged her not to go down that road again. She was so agitated when I first met her. Must have been 7, going on 8 years ago now. She never slept, didn't talk to anyone if she could avoid it. After we became friends, she began to change. Still bothered her from time to time, but I thought it mostly behind her. I couldn't watch her go back to how she'd been. Or worse. We became friends when she... well, she saved me. I'd said something without thinking. Must have been distracted. We all know to watch every last word we say. For some reason, she interceded on my behalf with an arbiter, and she convinced him he didn't hear what he actually did. No one does that. Void, I didn't think anyone could. We all were, originally, before the schism. But she never gave it up, even when it became illegal to even mention their name. Which was surprising with how angry she seemed to be getting with them, even as she was deep into scheming with Victor and the others. She even continued to sign her messages, "See you in the equation." It's all so confusing. What do you mean? It was where she worked, one of the Protectorate's communications hubs. She didn't speak of it much, at least to me. She may have spoken to Victor about it.
She ain't the only one.
It's difficult to explain. She spoke about things in unfamiliar ways. I felt her words to be freeing, at first. But slowly, I began to feel unmoored, doubting everything I ever knew. She said learning the truth of things was worth it. But now I question whether her truth was just more of her penchant to sow chaos, no matter who may be caught in her schemes. Some days I wish I'd never listened to her at all. Others, I can't help but miss her. Even with everything.
Know a little something about that, too.
I did try to. Once. After the corporatists invaded Paradise Island and took over Fairfield. They seemed to let anyone in there. Some boisterous fellow even tried to recruit me. No. Nearest I could surmise, she'd left just prior to the fall of Fairfield. I'm ashamed to admit, I did break into her safe. She used the same code for everything. 15-778.
That sounds like it could be her agent identification code, Commander.
She said it had some meaning from her previous life. I'd hoped she'd left something for me, but the safe was empty. No. But it had to be someone's fault, right? The Protectorate couldn't possibly have failed to safeguard the colony. And they had to answer the accusations the Order leveled at them. I know I've no right to ask this of you, but... when you find her, please remind her of who she used to be. She's unwell, but I know there's still hope for her. That's all I can ask.
Never commended, but don't be resentful. Wouldn't anybody be? A profusion of reasons why. Ask anyone.
My annoyance is palpable.
I heard that.
My frustration knows no limit.
Ain't nothing there.
dead lab worker, unarmed.
More I find myself more indignant about anything and everything.
Yeah.
These anti-soldiers seem twitchy to you? Might want to sneak our way in.
What do you think we're doing?
Fastest way forward is through!
Goodwin here. Field report update. We are approaching the Raptidon Den. These beasts have exhibited excessive irritability as of late. We endeavor to determine why. Surely the agent of our food additives. Only way to be certain is to gather a stool sample. Simple enough. A routine task for the Audacious Advances field team. Quiet now as we approach the Rap's nest. Certainly the spirited variety will offer... Oh, no! Oh, okay. We need to run now!
presently persist in a state of ceaseless perturbation.
Trouble ahead.
Would following the rules ever get anybody? It's like the rules are just the guide for what not to get. Why is this door open? Isn't this lab secure? Doesn't anyone else have standards in this place?
Got my lamps on a hostile.
Did you have an appointment?
You there? Oh, could it be? Well, by the Loeffler Risk Intercession Act, under Outbreak Provision 5A, I hereby press you into service to aid me in our present crisis. I, Elmet Ormsby, Product Envisioner, Department of Proprietary Methodology and Audacious Advances, am your interim supervisor. Yes, tragedy has befallen a number of my subordinates. I will trust you not to make light of such heart-rending events. But back to the exciting news about this incredible new opportunity. You working for me, as an aide-de-camp of sorts, on a brief yet no doubt exhilarating assignment. Our lab had been researching the red spores that grow nearby to see if they might contribute to future Auntie's Choice products. As per usual, we threw precaution to the wind. A local spore sample interacted with a wonderfully preservative-rich diet of Auntie's Choice personnel, inadvertently leading to a chance reaction causing profound irritability. To a somewhat homicidal degree, it would seem to appear. By that measure, our work here could be considered a moderate success. Well, of course, succeeding in a haphazard fashion is one of the first courses taught to Auntie's Choice students in any field. But yes, I am something of a visionary. You see, our lab is a far cry from the others. You're part of something bigger here. The individual not only thrives, but shines even more brightly with the help of their brethren. It all requires a certain devotion. In the end, it's really quite in the best interests of everyone's careers. A rising tide raises all boats, as they say. Well, it should all be rather straightforward, yes? I suspect we'd use a top-down indirect coronium synthesis method, don't you think? Just so. You seem no stranger to this type of work, eh? Tremendous. Well then, before we roll up our sleeves and determine what's needed, any questions? Whole thing was ghastly. One of my assistants and I heard a loud noise. He left to investigate while I continued working on our experiment. When he failed to return, I peeked outside and saw the others run in, bloody, gibbering, hunting for targets. They'd clearly been exposed to some virulent new form of experimental agent. I ran back and locked myself in this test chamber to avoid contamination. Well then, anything else before we proceed? Well, you'd certainly think so, but management sets the goal. Our humble research team works to deliver. But as much as I'd love to natter on, we probably ought to get matters underway. We'll need two things: fresh samples of the red spores and the findings from the expedition that originally uncovered them. After that, an antidote should be possible in relatively short order, with your skilled assistance, of course. Ah, my most favorite, least homicidal subordinate. How's all our fieldwork progressing? Absolutely gorgeous. Look at you. And to think I just forcibly coerced the first gormless dunderhead who walked by and found you. Lucky me. Now, first things first. Place the data cartridge in the drawer for me, right here, in the slot below my intercom. Haha. Allow me to give this a cursory eyeball and... perfect. I'm sure we have the correct neutralizing agent here in the lab. I'll nose out the exact compound within our chemical reserves in 2 shakes of a rat's tail. Always fortuitous to have ready access to a key chemical agent nearby. This might work out yet. Auntie may ignore our recent setbacks if I deliver an easy-to-market product. Just imagine the ad slogans. Air, now with extra fractiousness. Though, I suppose it only works on other Auntie's Choice employees, not our preservative-free rivals. Oh, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Now we must formulate an antidote. If we're able to save my remaining subordinates, they can help us rush this product to market. Normally, I'd say perfection can't be hurried, but... there. I have determined the ideal counteragent. Here you are. Place it and the spore samples into that synthesizer. Enable the device and it will begin a working antidote momentarily. Return with it directly as soon as it does, if you please. I cannot wait to put this entire sordid affair behind us. Though, in the end, this should turn out to be quite a lucrative day. I saw you working the chemical synthesizer. I presume you were successful in creating an antidote? Nice try. But you don't possess nearly the negotiating power you might suspect. Not when I can simply bide my time and wait for another gormless dunderhead to stumble by. Why, let that thick-headed boob amble off with your reward. Not budging? Oh, all right. I suppose I'd be willing to throw in a little extra as a merit bonus for your superlative performance. Wonderful, wonderful! Knew you seemed a bankably reliable sort. All right. I am activating the air filtration system. There. Should only take a few moments for the antidote to circulate. Everyone still alive should be right as rain shortly. Marvelous. You'll find your remuneration in the chest behind me. My supervisor will hear of your actions. Oh, and before I forget, I, Omid Ormsby, under the power granted me by the Loeffler Risk Intercession Act, hereby free you from impressed service to Auntie's Choice. Be seeing you.
I trust you'll see yourself out.
Yeah.
Sit or sprint? Typical predicament for an anti-bottom runger like me. Wish I never snuck in here to begin with. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Nah, it was a great idea. So much stuff in the taking around here. Motherload of loot. Plenty to get me back in the scrap race. Just didn't account for all these crabbles. Real fly in the old ointment. I could just sit tight, live lean off all these supplies, hope the crabbles skedaddle, or maybe open the door and bolt. Seems like a good idea. Nah, it's a great idea.
Have time for a chat, Commander? This is a delicate situation. You reckon we help folk here get back on their feet? Or do what the Minister asked? Really now? I suppose it makes sense, since he can offer you a clearer path to the relay. But I suspect you're only helping him delay the inevitable. If we convince these folk to join up with Auntie's choice, they can start new lives away from the Protectorate guillotine. They'd be grateful once they see what we got on offer. Plus, the Minister's deal was clear. Do this, and he'll tell you how to gain entrance to the Vox. So you'd still get what you're after. The whereabouts of DeVries, right? You got it. Let's start conversating. The sooner we know how folk really feel about living here, the sooner we'll know who to butter up.
This looks like the place. Law, I haven't felt this high-strung since Horizon Point. Just
Niles.
Howdy, Zeb. You look... well.
Has my mind been set upon by shadows? I thought you dead.
Can't imagine why you think that. I've only been gone 4 years.
Oh, back from your little saunter then, are you? Head all cleared? I must say you took quite the perambulation. I hope you didn't wear out your rotation adapters. And who precisely are you? Another Earth Directorate cast-off? So, you are keeping company these days. Just not mine. That would depend on what vision you have for Arcadia's future. Everyone seems to think they alone know what's best for this colony.
Look, I'm not just here to gas you up with empty apologies. I want to set things right between us.
Oh, now you want to help. Where were you when the war happened? Or when I was being carted off to mental refreshment? Where were you when I actually needed you?
Reckon I've got this, Commander. No need to bring in the reserve just yet. I know I let you down before, but give me a chance to earn back your trust. There must be something I can lend you a hand with. I know you haven't given up the fight.
I haven't the time to patch your bleeding conscience, Niles. I'm in a situation that demands my full attention.
It's Baines. My team's been caught. Pharaoh and March are dead. Protectorate are holding the rest for interrogation. A ship is inbound to take us off-world, to the Consul himself. I barely managed to evade capture. Damn it! It looks like the data went through, but there's something wrong with the connection. The cipher isn't transmitting.
Found her! You there! Step away from that terminal at once!
Audra! Fuck! It's all coming apart.
I knew something was wrong. What have you gotten yourself into here, Zeb?
That was one of my operatives. I organized a mission to infiltrate the Vox to acquire valuable intelligence. But obviously, something's gone wrong. Without that cipher, the intelligence is worthless. But I'm more concerned about my people at the moment. If you're sincere in your desire to help, prove it. Rescue my friends before that ship departs with them on board. Please. It has to do with the location of a vault rumored to house the Protectorate's greatest technological advancements, including its skip drive designs. That's all I'll say for now.
I am. Without question.
Okay. If they're sending a ship, that means my people are being held on the Vox's landing pad. Use my call sign so they'll know you for an ally. I'm certain Niles remembers it. And do exercise discretion, as well as caution. The guards at the Vox won't hesitate to fire upon you, should you be discovered.
Not to worry. This is exactly the sort of thing we're trained to handle.
Yes, but the uniform doesn't stop bullets, as I'm sure you recall.
Good thing we know a doctor then.
I'll answer what I can. If you must know, it was my sister. A neighbor reported her for some misconduct and she was taken to be refreshed. I never heard what her alleged crime was meant to be. The woman who returned was nigh unrecognizable. The injustice of it rattled me. And once I began to look into what had happened, the more discomfort I felt. Then I met Niles. He told me the truth about other colonies. Made Arcadia feel so small, claustrophobic, repressive. And my smoldering resentments became a full conflagration. Stop there. I know what you would ask, but I've done my best to put that unpleasant experience behind me. Please respect my wish to avoid reopening closed wounds. The Crabbles? They keep people away who might otherwise stumble into my operation here. I feel kindly toward them. Ah, of course. Hogarth and his unfortunate charges would be top of mind if you've explored the nearby settlement. I sympathize with the plight of those in Westport. They want nothing to do with me, of course, or anyone outside the Sovereign's grace, which has been to my benefit. I do believe that one day, the truth of the Protector's iniquity will be too obvious to ignore. But for now, not even a crowbar could pry open all those shut eyes.
Commander.
Get the sense you ain't too fond of Auntie's choice. Any reason why?
Maybe on account of them being a giant, malignant corporate entity?
Finally, we can get back to talking.
Maybe on account of them being a giant, malignant corporate entity? Reminds me of the one I grew up under. And that ain't a compliment.
I grew up under a corporation like Auntie's too, Niles. You ain't the only one with a sob story.
Then you might ought to know better than to throw in with Annie's. They're just like those bit-pinching bastards on Triangle. If the Earth Directorate hadn't stepped in.
Well, there you have it. The Earth Directorate saved you, huh? Sure as shit didn't save us.
No, suppose not. But you've got choices now. Time for excuses is past.
Don't you look down your nose at me. Any sane folk would throw their lot in with the ones who help them, not those who deliberately look the other way. How's your own loyalty to the Earth Directorate treated you all this time? I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
Figured this ship would have been reported by now. You know how Sentinels are. They take their time with traitors and instigators.
Got eyes on some no good.
Gloria, Arcadia, never to be outshone. Our colony, Arcadia, our home.
Yeah. Back again. Thought we were done for now. Break as many fingers as pleases you. Still won't change my tune. Wait. Who are you? I'm certain I haven't seen you before. I remember all my oppressors.
We're not Protectorate. We're your ticket out of this hotbox. Esculepe sent us.
Esculepe? Zeb sent you? Wait, you're Niles, aren't you? Count on Zeb to go as far as raising the dead to help. But it's too late. That wasn't meant to be pointed. I'm sure it wasn't easy getting this far, what with that tyrant warden at the bridge.
Oh. The others don't look like they suffered easy deaths. What happened?
Montelli, damn him! He executed March and Pharaoh outright, ranting about traitors. Then the Consul Sentinel arrived to conduct a preliminary interrogation. She tortured us for information. The others didn't survive her enthusiasm for the work. I'm only here because the Consul wants someone brought back to him, alive. Lucky me. Thanks. Can't take all the credit, though. The Sentinel seemed spent by the time she got to me. Wore herself out on the others, I guess. Quick, though, before I forget or we're interrupted, I memorized the cipher. It's O2519W. Should help Zeb decode the intelligence we sent him a whole lot faster. Kind of you to offer, but I'm not going anywhere.
If you're too hurt to walk, I'm sure the commander and I could...
No, it's not that. I need the Sentinel to take me onto that transport. I want her to think she's won. And then, just as we leave orbit, I'm going to blow her pretty ship to pieces.
That might just be the most ruthless bait and switch I ever heard. Your friends ought to be proud.
Thanks. Funny what ideas come into your head after losing a molar. I'm no martyr. If there was another way to protect Zebulon and our cell, I'd take it. But if I escape, the Protectorate will pursue me, and everyone I care about will be in danger. I'll make it look like an accident. Mechanical failure. When I was being tortured, I saw some frayed wires near the fuel system. With the right spark, I think I can ignite it.
I have my doubts. Even if she managed to spark a few wires, that ship's bound to have a fire suppression system. It would kick in if there was any real ignition.
What do you propose, then?
Not blowing yourself up, for starters.
You know how relentless the Protectorate is. But if I die, that's the end of it. The Consul will turn his attention elsewhere, and our cause can continue in the shadows. Please, if you can help me sabotage the transport, then help me. We don't have much time.
Might be I could sabotage the transport from the outside. Make it look like negligent maintenance. What do you think, Commander? Yes, Commander. Stay put. Shouldn't take me too long. Done. Won't go into the particulars, but you can trust that ship will blow the moment it hits orbit.
Excellent work. I see why Zebulon liked having you around. I'd say I won't forget how you've helped me, but, well, you know. Tell Zeb what happened, won't you? That it was my decision. And I was at peace with it. The bravest thing I ever did was start thinking for myself. Everything else after that's been easy.
Good luck, Audra.
Likewise. And thank you both again.
They're stringing up their own people. Sick bastards.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted.
You've returned, but where are the others? Hold a moment. What's that in the sky? A Protectorate transport? What in the blazes was that? What do you mean? All of them? And you didn't think to dissuade her? Damn it, Niles! Our cause isn't served by more corpses. Do you think I don't know that? Was she at least able to give you the cipher before the end? I wish the success of this venture had not come at such a terrible cost. But at least it was not for nothing. Perhaps I was mistaken about your commitment to making amends, Niles. Thank you for being true.
Can't fault you for having doubts. But I have changed. I am changing.
I hope you'll both forgive me my earlier disposition. I'm not normally so surly. I'm pleased Niles has found such a supportive friend and ally. That's a rare thing in this colony. I haven't much to reward you with, but take this. It's something I had started on for Niles long ago. Hopefully it fits. This information came at a steep price, but I'll put it to good use. Expect to hear from me should our cause require further assistance from the Earth Directorate's best. Never fear. Next time, I fully intend to involve you in said trouble before it develops into a full-blown predicament.
Reckon I like the sound of that. Until next time, then. Got time for a debrief, Commander? Feels good, don't it? Helping folks like Zeb and Audra hit back against the Protectorate. Almost like being back with the Earth Directorate. Pretty sure Val can give you something for that. The reflux, I mean. It's easy to focus on all that's going wrong, but wins ought to be celebrated too. On Triangular might have suggested going for drinks somewhere they don't come with fuel, but here, I think we'll have to settle for patting each other on the back. Shucks, Commander. I'm gonna get top-heavy you keep paying me compliments like that. Thanks again for going out of your way to help Zeb. Now I can focus on hunting down the Vrees without feeling like I've got a rabid sprat in my back pocket.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted.
Well,
We must was all.
This is not shooting.
I had a nightmare that the matriarch didn't give us the paradigm, and we were left to scramble for purpose and
Greetings. It is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you to Westport, once a shining testament to Protectorate excellence. Now a picturesque example of the evils of corporatism. But where are my manners? We do not have much, but please, let me offer you some victuals. Tut. I insist. Serving Unit 1. Something for the visitor at once?
Confirmative.
Perhaps you're wondering why I'd open my arms thusly for a stranger. Simple. As the guiding light for humankind, we always put our best foot forward, regardless of circumstance. I beg to differ. Those walls have stood for over a century and would easily have stood for another, were it not for Auntie's greed and envy, and explosives. That is unlikely, as they are too ignorant to see our obvious superiority. Our society was built from the bedrock up, through the vision of our matriarch. Due to her genius, the structure of our society is perfect, planned down to the last subject. We all work as a unified whole for the betterment of all, unlike those corporate colonies, where it's every person for themselves.
Is a fellow subject lacking the...
How dare you? The lower classes, as you call them, are the very heart of our society. There's naught to complain of. Why, we've even eradicated the drudgery of manual labor through our perfection of auto-mechanical technology. That brings me to a matter I'd like to discuss with you, actually. I believe something still can be done. This town can be saved, its people given a reprieve. Were we to acquire the one thing vital to our existence: auto-mech parts. What?
Comestibles served.
We of the Protectorate pride ourselves on our mech programming. Among the vigilant, it is even considered something of a sport. We are not miracle workers, however. Without parts to work with, we've no hope of remaking our mechs to do tasks beyond their initial functions. We need repair mechs, domestic mechs, not combat ones. Serving Unit 1 here is about as much as can be accomplished without replacement parts. If I can return the settlement to a reasonable facsimile of its previous glory, sufficiently functioning by employing mechs reprogrammed to repair and rebuild, the Arbiters might see fit to penalize only me, commute the others' sentences, allow them to maintain things around here in the spirit of continuity and such.
Look around. If the Protectorate wanted to do right by you, you wouldn't be starving and wallowing in this metal quagmire. You want to help your people? Go to Fairfield.
Fairfield? Why, they're the reason we're in this mess. You'll forgive me for questioning such timely offers of generosity and kindness. No thank you, not interested. I owe it to every single person here to try. Of course. Abandon every last ideal to climb the rungs of the corporate ladder. A trifling matter to be executed with an insouciant air.
Well, it's either that or die here with all dignity tossed asunder. Be smart. Take the deal.
Nobody needs go anywhere. Not when we can still save Westport. We of the Protectorate endure as one, regardless of any hardships we must face. I have the aid of key pillars of our community. Several persons of note and good character who stand with and by me. And our town still functions. Our automechs are still running, mostly. We have a generator to power them, fresh water, the reassuring voice of everyone's neighbor Prudence wafts from our loudspeakers. Mock me if you must, but the matriarch herself made greatness out of little. I have a brighter future in mind for Westport, one you can help with, in fact, rather than dwelling on dark maybes and scenarios of worst imagining. Not the first to question my judgment, nor the last, I suppose. One expects a certain lack of social graces from those raised outside the Protectorate. Let us talk plainly. What would it take to secure your aid?
The system is resilient.
Certainly. What would you like to know? I know as an outsider you may not be able to understand this, but the structure of our society is sacrosanct. If any one subject does not do their duty, it puts everyone at risk. Ours was to protect Westport when antis attacked us, with our lives if the situation necessitated it. As you can see, we failed. We're also tasked with leading the rest of the subjects, but now that I've become a traitor, the only guidance I provide is to the few left here, and I will do right by them. Is there anything else? Farewell now.
Well, it's you walked in here under your own steam and appear reasonably free of cuts, burns, or weeping lesions. So, I assume you're presently devoid of mortiferous injuries. Good. Because we've got more of that than we can handle. Don't suppose you have any medical supplies to spare, do you? That you might kindly consider donating? Oh, no thank you. Not looking for anything that does more harm than good. I have enough ailments to manage already. From what I've heard about Auntie's medicaments, might poison a patient or cause them to grow an extra head or something. Never know what they're testing out on you.
My extra parts aren't side effects. That's your implication. And anyhow, I should think some minor side effects would be preferable to dying.
Honestly? Well, I'm a reasonable judge of character, and you seem upright. On behalf of my patients and I, thank you. We're all grateful. Guess outsiders aren't all just base individualists like they say on the wireless. Barring this being some tricky sales strategy, that is. This is a good start, but I fear it won't last long. Wouldn't happen to know a reliable means to procure more, would you? They'd sell to us? Those medicaments you gave us before? No, never. You must think me easily hoodwinked. Our societies are sworn enemies. You almost make that sound reasonable, under a highly skewed, morally vacuous light. Not seeing a wealth of options here at present. I can watch my patients die, then face execution, or we can resettle elsewhere and remain alive. I lean toward the latter. The abandoned section of Westport ought to have some supplies. Should be enough medicaments down there to help our injured survive the trip to Fairfield. It's perilous, though. If you're sure it'll retain its efficacy, that might just do the trick. I recognize these patients require more care than I'm able to provide here. Seems like in Fairfield, I can get them the help they require. The one last additional thing we'll need is for Vigilant Hogarth to agree to it. It's less a concern about disloyalty, and more my respect for his abilities. He's a skilled leader, and we could sorely use his aid, from coordinating logistics to keeping up morale. I'll surely have my hands full with my patients. His presence on the journey would save lives. All right, be careful out there.
But now, more than ever, we must all do
The matriarch appeared right out of the aether, just as I imagine our proud sentinels do. Like, here I am, your innermost thoughts are known to me, and nobody once hears from you again. Caught me reciting passages from a beacon to the cosmos, illustrating my steadfast fidelity. All subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Sovereign. That part always hits me directly. To quote my personal log, an essential passage, rightful and true. Charlton Weintraut.
It's not just a good idea.
Why, that's wonderful. I'm actually quite relieved a fellow customer like yourself somehow saw through my carefully maintained act. Others in Westport fail to perceive my true nature. I am hardly one of the herd around here. A reference you'll no doubt recognize from those keen Auntie's Choice commercials.
In defense against
Why, they are certainly inspiring. There's this one character who just laughs at danger, says he hand makes his own luck. Is that not the grandest thing you ever heard? You and I are just like him. Get up and go-getters. Say, did Auntie's Choice send you here? Don't fret, I am exceedingly skilled at keeping secrets. How I've waited to hear those words. Anything I might help with at present? Really? What was he like? Bold, assertive, with a wildly obstreperous theatrical air? An audacious proposal. Yet this place, despite its recent humidity, remains comfortable and familiar. With a full case, I might gorge upon such sweet goodness morning, noon, and night. All right, hand it over. Oh, but what would Vigilant Hogarth say? What would everyone say? I can scarcely imagine it. Abandoning my community only to satisfy my gastronomical urges and risk-taking attitude. No, I couldn't leave unless Hogarth ordered everyone to go. Righto. Well, you seem rather confident. Best of luck, I suppose. You are surely going to need it. Please inform me when, of course, you receive it.
From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
Almost missed the routine certitude. Visitors, huh? Just meandering about, free of any appointed minder? Not so sure I ought to be speaking with you. If you need someone to talk to hereabouts, I suggest you seek out Vigilant Hogarth. That tall, stately building back yonder is his domicile. Oh, glad to hear. Probably sprung an important task on you afterwards, I'd wager. I mentioned to the Vigilant how I'd reset my chef mech to prepare meals to my liking. Next thing you know, he puts me in charge of repairing all the mechs in Westport. I mean, sure. All the underlying logic's the same, if you mull it over. I've been trained to run them big algae processing units, which are a fair amount more complex. It's just... subjects are expected to mind their assigned area and particular forte. So I was a mite taken aback. But I am happy to help the system abide any way I am able. I assume those are approved Protectorate announcements, correct? With everyone's neighbor prudence and the like? I mean, sorry. Of course they are. Loudspeaker control terminal is in the proclamation station, a few structures over. One with the antenna. I suspect they go there. Not to indulge in idle talk, but things have been different around here of late. Not at all overwhelmed or terrified of dying, though, of course. The system abides. Much to do, truly. Toughest challenge now is upkeep of key apparatus. If that generator goes, for instance, doubt I have means to fix it. We lose power to charge our mechs, this place is done for. Final nail in the coffin, or similarly minded metaphor of your choosing. Not that the paradigm would allow that, of course. Even if I did ever fall prey to such treacherous whimsy, you think I'd be fool-headed enough to admit it to a stranger? Look like I've been kicked by an automech or something? I mean, void damn. Vigilant Hogarth's still here. No matter how bad it gets, keeps us going. Keeps us right. Folks like him prove the paradigm is aligned with the Architect's plan. Just gotta trust the rightful guidance of the Vigilance and the Sovereign. Think I care more about remuneration than helping my neighbor? Nah, I'd rather live in an honest-to-goodness community than be surrounded by them individualist backstabbers. Sure feel sorry for them. Maybe someday after we, well, utterly crush their forces and disprove their bent philosophy, we can show them all a right, better way to live. You don't say. Huh. So it's only here with our, perfect society that it works our way. How, fortunate for us all to benefit from such judicious guidance. That's a right intriguing proposition. I do wonder what it's like to have, choice about things. If it weren't for Vigilant Hogarth, I do believe I'd scupper off to... well, you know where. Yeah. You convince him, I'm in. But I owe him enough I wouldn't abandon him for nothing.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
The matriarch chose Eden because she recognized it as the perfect place.
Subjects within and without.
That doesn't sound like a sanctioned community.
I was sad for a moment because my house got situated. Then the wireless told me everything was splendid. Now I feel much, much better.
Oh. Come on.
That vacuous cacophony set. Well, look who it is. What is it? Speak your mind. Not my favorite topic of discourse, but I do like the cut of your jib. Very well. State your piece. That is concerning. Perhaps somehow we could still tough things out, though, with only a modicum of suffering. Oh, I would love to argue that this is not the case, but I fear you are correct. This war, this devastation, it can't be denied they've taken their toll. Ultimately, I regard their well-being above all, but the joke is on you, really. And them, I suppose. Don't you see? We're all traitors. I no longer hold any authority over anyone. But if they still wish my blessing, it is theirs. My former subjects are free to live an empty life with Auntie's choice. I'll make an announcement. Order them to depart for Fairfield. But I will be staying. Should I? Haven't I failed them enough for one lifetime? No. I will stay here and loyally await the judgment I richly deserve. Admittedly, the outlook is bleak, but I am a member of the Protectorate. I shall persevere. They will see I am a subject of worth. You do make a convincing argument, stranger. Unsure how I'll endure such an empty existence. Perhaps, if I offer my old subjects periodic advice, our sense of community may somehow, despite the wiles of commercialism, remain. All right, then. Suppose it's time to make my announcement.
Auntie's Choice makes a cream for it. Our Recreant Reclamation and Artificial Additives Division has proudly announced its latest innovation, Slurrylos, a flavor new...
Attention, everyone. Attention. I, Vigilant Ogden Hogarth, hereby do order all subjects under my command to abandon the settlement of Westwood at the earliest possible juncture. You are to depart for the township of Fairfield, safely, and once there, you are to appeal to local authorities for citizenship with Auntie's Choice. Thereupon, you are thus and forevermore relieved of your duties as subjects of the Protectorate. This is a direct order from your Vigilant and is not to be questioned and cannot be countermanded. Now see to your preparations. I will join you shortly.
Must be at least a few useful parts in here. Aha! Ah, it's warped. Looks like it. Hello there. You wouldn't happen to have found any usable parts in all this debris? Westport's stockpiles of replacement parts are nearly depleted. I need to find some parts to convert some of our auto-mechanicals, non-combat parts. Fortunately, there's nothing here that's salvageable. Auntie's bombs sure take their toll, don't they? Let's just say to fill Westport's needs. If you follow the road heading north, you can't miss it. Used to be a sight to behold, but the war hasn't been kind to it. To any of us. True enough. A few years ago, I couldn't have imagined us running short of anything. And now here I am, digging through scrap for parts. But I digress. Was there anything else? Need to get back to my hunt, you understand? Unless I missed my guess, this looks like it was transporting damaged and malfunctioning automechs from the Vox station to the Automech Repair Center to the south of here. The center is... Say, you don't work for Antes, do you? This is beginning to feel more than a little like you're digging for intelligence. Fair enough. As I was saying, the Automech Repair Center is south of here. Regrettably, subjects of Westport no longer have access to the repair center, hence my need to scavenge. Yes and no. The bomb certainly took a fierce toll, but I suspect these were all in various states of disrepair even before Andy's offensive, which has made sorting out where to begin my efforts here rather difficult. There should be a manifest somewhere, but it's nowhere to be found. Nor are the troopers who should have been escorting this. Or their bodies. These were stalwart defenders of the Protectorate we're talking about here. Not the spineless stumblewits that comprise the forces of Anti's choice. No. Some other unfortunate fate has befallen them. Could have been any manner of terror brought upon us by Antis. Likewise. And please inform me if you happen upon any usable parts. There must be at least a few usable parts in here. Ah, it's warped. Just like everything else.
Who goes there? By orders of Marshal Donaldson, no one comes or goes to the Automech Repair Center without approval. What's your business here?
Now you've done it. Slowing down a ranking Protectorate official is worth 10, 20 demerits if you're lucky.
All right, let's not lose our heads over a simple misunderstanding. You're free to pass. Marshal Donaldson likes to greet new arrivals personally. We'll let him know you're inbound, so no one shoots on sight. Oh, and fair warning, watch out for Zeranium gas. We sprung a leak. Definitely the second one. But it's like the Marshal says, in war, evacuation is not an option. One more thing. Don't cause any trouble around these parts. Donaldson runs a tight ship and has zero tolerance for lawbreakers.
Did the authorities send you? Did my torrent of messages finally convince them of the vast crab-like dangers near at hand? What a relief. In here I thought myself dismissed as a loon. Ah, good. A captive audience. Money well spent. You must have spied those nefarious crabbles, roiling, rippling, bubbling, and churning out in the water. No one at the facility believes me, but I've seen it with my own eyes. Crabble numbers have swelled as they gather to defy us. A consortium, nay, an army! Huh, shows what you know. Crabbles are the bane of Arcadia. Strong, intelligent, and superior to us in every way. What I need is for more people to recognize the threat at our doorstep. Invasion appears exceedingly probable, nay, inevitable. Heed my warning, stranger. Beware the Crabble!
All that matters is getting the... What in the name of the architect? Oh, right. My guards told me to expect a new arrival, right before our chief mechanist decided to harangue me with the latest on our catastrophe.
Marshal, you're acting as though I'm not standing here auguring the impending doom of this facility.
Woodrow, normally I would be obliged, nay, happy, to receive your senseless jawing, but not today. Perhaps this outsider can assist where you've failed. I hope you've come to help, because a crisis is bearing down on us, and I've a dearth of reliable hands with which to manage it. You see, Woodrow, why at this rate, we'll have the facility up and running in little to no time.
That's what scares me, Marshal.
Like you, me and my consternated head technician are new arrivals, though we may not last long if we fail to repair the Zeranium leak. I wouldn't have put it in those terms, but I appreciate someone who speaks their mind. The Vox relay station needs our automechs. But until that leak is fixed, this facility is a target for the sport of Auntie's armaments. Delphinia Bryant is working on a prototype Zeranium shield. Whoever uses it will be less disposable and more useful to the Protectorate. There is a nominal risk that the automechs will act impulsively, but there will be plenty of time to unravel that particular knot once they're delivered.
Marshal, those automechs have been corrupted with Zeranium. I can't even cogitate on what they're capable of if we lack the time or resources to approach this rationally. Should they go berserk, we may well be turning the very subject you intend to resupply into their victims. We'd be branded as traitors.
Then perhaps you had better explain to Brigadier Montelli why his defenses are grounded. And you can do so personally, in the comfort of his office.
Montelli? I rescind my objection. May the delicate workings of the paradigm point us toward a better way.
There's a good fellow. Cleave to your loyalty, and it will never steer you wrong.
Oh yes, I adore interruptions. I was just saying, what's best for stoking the spark of invention? Regular disruptions to one's train of thought. Now what is it you want? Ah, our good Marshal sent you, did he? Well, unfortunately, the device is taking longer than expected. Assist me, and you'll get more than bits out of the equation. You'll get a prototype shield gadget, the first of its kind. Now tell me, are you familiar with Zeranium gas? One and the same. That building took the brunt of the damage during a recent attack, and now it's spewing valuable Zeranium all over the place. I could speak at length about Zeranium's many captivating intrinsic qualities, but suffice it to say, in its gaseous state, it's rather deadly. So what am I endeavoring to create? A protective device that shields its wearer from Zeranium's remarkably unsavory effects, as well as other forms of harm. Yes, quite right. And let me tell you, it was astoundingly difficult to dial in the resonance. Luckily, the difficult work is behind us. There are only a smattering of ancillary details still to be hashed out. Alas, while I'm occupied with inventing this shield gadget, I also find myself in need of assistance regarding its key components. Good. Wonderful. As an added incentive, I'll allow you to keep one of the prototypes once the work is finished, so you be sure to give it your all. Now here, you'll need this apparatus. It's for collecting stray Zeranium effluvium. Gas, that is. My supply is running low from all the iterative testing I've been performing. Merely activate the device once it's inside a Zeranium cloud, the one around the main hangar specifically. Try to avoid any fields of dense Zeranium, or death is all but assured. Any questions? Normally, yes, but on the off chance that environmental exposure has altered the gas here in any way, I'll want to work with local samples. Ideally, the resulting shielding will protect against any gas, but since it's of utmost importance that it work on the gas here, I'll be calibrating against that. Well, of course, obviously. To that end, I'd suggest choosing a cloud of lesser density for your collection efforts. Lower chance of near-instant death that way. If you suffer prolonged exposure, assuming you survive, see our local medical officer next door. She is highly preoccupied by the treatment of Zeranium-related maladies. I believe that covers all the necessary education for this particular assignment. Oh, so exhilarating to have a new subordinate. I look forward to thoroughly scrutinizing your work. Now, shoo-shoo! Off with you now! Gather those samples! Shoo!
Might be wise to give that large gas cloud a wide berth.
Commander, I think this stuff is eating my lungs from the inside.
Oh, a new arrival. Oh, and what's this? You, I dare say, are exhibiting clear signs of Zeranium exposure, stranger. Fortunately for you, you appear to have a fairly mild case. I imagine you haven't even noticed any symptoms yet. If you'd indulge me, I have a few questions I'd like to ask, for medical posterity, and so on and so forth. First question, can you describe the conditions in which you were exposed to the Zeranium? Ah, another assistant. Should have guessed. I suppose I should be grateful for all the data she sends my way, but I do wish Del would think more of her collaborators' well-being. All right, next question. How are you feeling? For instance, do your bones seem noticeably softer somehow? Have you observed any sterility on your way in? Or aching in your thyroid or spleen? Somewhat vague, but entirely understandable. As a token of my appreciation, allow me to provide you advanced Zeranium therapy of the highest possible quality. There, that should do it. Do stop back in if you suffer additional exposure. I would love, be pleased to act as your consulting physician again, should the need arise. Oh, gladly. I've rather dedicated my life to researching its unique form of matter. What would you like to know? Zeranium is a crystal. Even in its raw form, it generates energy. But once refined and stored in a quasi-gaseous state, its output increases exponentially. Zeranium is found in a liquid state as well, but it's far too hazardous and inefficient for our needs. Refined Zeranium is used to power nearly all major Protectorate technology. It's an amazingly efficient power source. However, it's also highly unstable and must be mined exceedingly carefully. Even minor bumps or jolts can cause Zeranium crystals to explode. Zeranium in its default crystalline state poses two risks. First, it's extremely volatile, exploding with an immense burst of energy if upset in any way. Second, Zeranium crystals produce a small amount of gas, which we think helps stabilize its crystalline lattice, but that's just a theory. In this gaseous state, Zeranium is quite hazardous, breaking down organic matter through a mechanism we still don't quite understand. That was the prevailing theory when study of the phenomenon first began, but no supporting evidence for that has ever been found. I can say that what I've seen makes little sense. The concentration of the gas is a critical factor. a person could remain in a light haze for several minutes, whereas a dense cloud can kill near instantly. Anyhow, I could talk about this all day if I let myself. Hope I haven't bored you unduly. Was there anything else I could help you with? Total avoidance is best, but try to get out of the Zeranium as quickly as you can if exposure becomes necessary.
What brings you to this place?
Caught a piece of shrapnel during the attack. What about you?
Ah, my little minion. I trust you've made progress in your tasks? What did I tell you? Perfectly safe. Either that or you tolerate Zeranium poisoning like a champ. Good for you. Should you suffer from any lingering symptoms of contamination, visit the medical center and they'll get you squared away. Now, on to business. The device already generates a field exactly as specified, albeit on a very small scale. Still, progress is progress. What's needed now is something to help extend and shape the field around the user. I require a component called a catalytic amplifier. You'll be pleased to learn there's one right here at the facility, in the Dragoon that's patrolling just outside. You would imagine so, wouldn't you? Unfortunately for me, our chief mechanist, Woodrow, wasn't enthusiastic about my proposal to Geld his only combat automech. So you may have trouble getting your hands on the catalytic amplifier. Oh, certainly. They're all in the building blocked by Zeranium gas, which is why we're making the device. I trust you see how that's a problem. However, I do recall hearing this facility was originally assigned 2 Dragoons. I'm not sure what happened to the other one, though. It was gone by the time I arrived. The only other source at hand would be the Invaders, and I'm afraid I'm not intimately familiar with most of their technology, especially that organic filth they cherish so much.
Gonna take that to mean her taste buds ain't yet been blessed by the Auntie Cleo and Pal's Crab Witch. She'll learn the error of her ways one day.
In fact, the only equipment of theirs that I'm passingly familiar with is their holographic systems, which... Hold on. Yes, that could work! Holographic emitters are essentially low-yield field modulators, so in a pinch, one could be used in place of a catalytic amplifier. Quite right. We'll need one of sufficient power and adaptability. Look for an emitter attached to the largest, most ostentatious display you can find. That should suit our needs well enough. That insidious light pollution emanating from Fairfield comes to mind, specifically those tall buildings in the town square. Now, will there be anything else? Until a more convenient date and time.
There must be at least a few. There must be at least a few usable parts in here. Ah, it's warped. Just like everything else. There must be at least a few usable parts in here.
Alright, I guess you can't give the parts to him. Interesting.
Hell. I've stood this post so many times I could do it less.
These riffs got me awful perturbed. Keep reality hard enough without some nerve-wracking phenomenon punching holes in it.
You've lifted my spirits right out of their doldrums. Our new guests have just arrived. Here, a considerable reward for your considerable efforts. Had anyone asked, I would have bet a year's pay against your capturing the hearts and minds of the denizens of Westport, and it seems I would have been out a great deal of bits. I've two minds about the convertees. Anyone with eyes can see they need guidance, but a pernicious system is not easily abandoned. Have you any thoughts? Trust will take time to build, time and patience. But that is an investment I am ready to make. You've given me a great deal to think about. I am in your debt. I cannot overstate what a capital compatriot you've been, my friend. Now be off. I've many refugees to see to. Plan is such a strong word. Let's call it a hunch. Consider this your first lesson in propaganda. Find whatever your target desires most and use it towards your own ends. Speak with Vigilant Hogarth in the building beside the saloon. He was in charge around here before we arrived. I have no doubt he knows vital information to the Vox's functioning. Now, should you ever find yourself visiting the ACS Undisputed Claim, do come see me. I've no doubt that when we next meet, I'll have risen 6 ranks, at least. Farewell!
You want freedom of choice. You want Auntie's choice.
Well, hello. You appear burning with purpose. Is everything all right? Has something occurred? Judging by the waves of consternation wafting off of you, your other options must have failed. Yes, I know of a means in, but you must do something for me there. Even though I no longer am of the Protectorate, I do care for its subjects. Now, I'll prepare a writ of conscription to the Vox Relay. Once you're inside, there's something else I need you to do. Something that would save many lives. The Vox Relay is, to my mind, a time bomb. Brigadier Montelli's lost his way. Now all manner of chaos is raging there. I've heard tell he's even resorted to extra-legal executions. Madness, I tell you. A brigadier doesn't act as judge, jury, and executioner. That's an arbiter's job. And even then, they're enforcing existing Protectorate law. Marshal Corbin, as with all my subjects, I have been there when he needed me. I trust we can call on him now to do his part. Seek him out at the Vox Relay. Conscript him with the writ. And this is important. You must convince him to kill Montelli. Corbin will want to talk him down, to take him into custody, to message superiors outside the facility beforehand. We cannot allow any of that to happen. If Corbin becomes the highest-ranking officer alive, no one will be able to contradict his accounting of events. The Protectorate execute connivers and schemers. Corbin must appear forced to take down Montelli in the moment. It cannot feel like a plotted coup. Good, good. Here is the writ. Farewell now.
Well, any closer to obtaining the catalytic amplifier? This should be all I need to complete the device. I'll have to boost its output a bit, but simple enough. With this gadget, you'll be shielded against more than Zeranium, you know. Damn near everything, as long as it's charged. Now, report to Marshal Donaldson, if you please. He's rather impatient to end this crisis so he can turn his focus back to the war. You do that. Anything to keep him off my back for an hour.
I'm glad that spectacle didn't scare you off. Between the recent attacks and the gas leak, you find us on the razor's edge between reason and panic. Whether or not you're able to help us, I'm grateful to have an extra set of eyes on the problem. Zeranium is hardly my area of expertise, but it falls to me to find a solution, lest I follow my predecessors to their untimely fate. I knew Dr. Bryant would come through for us, that she'd prove her worth as surely as any subject of the Protectorate would. Seeing as you're the only one trained in the use of that gadget, what say you put it through its paces? Make your way inside the repair hangar and find the control terminal to purge the Zeranium. And be careful with that terminal. We don't want the situation getting any worse. Don't worry about Woodrow. Smart fellow, but his cautious nature gets in the way. Yes, there is some risk that exposure to Zeranium will corrupt our automechs, to use his colorful language. That shouldn't stop us from delivering them on time. I'm sure they'll be scrubbed clean once they arrive at the Vox Relay. But that isn't our problem to solve. You be sure and come back once you've made progress on the leak.
Let's get the signal.
First the attack, then there's Iranian. At this rate, we're never getting caught up.
I hope you brought me good news, outsider. At last, the tide is shifting. Today, we fix our automechanicals. Tomorrow, we push the unprincipled interlopers of Auntie's choice into the sea. You've done us a great service, stranger, and I would see your efforts rewarded. Alas, we don't have much to offer since our supplies are so low. I hope these bits will suffice. We confiscated them from the corpses of the scouts who attempted to infiltrate this facility a few weeks back. It carries the invaders' taint, but it should spend just the same. The pleasure was mine. The automechs we sent out will be a great asset to the Vox relay station. Now I can show our chief mechanist that he was wrong, and a little Zeranium poisoning won't do those automechs any harm.
Big, dark cavern ahead. Seems likely we'll find Crabbles hereabouts.
Look up there. Are those rifts?
All those eggs. How fast do these things breathe?
Initializing. Resuming grapple control. Patrol. Please stand clear.
Standing near this thing's making my blood run cold. More than usual.
Oh, I don't suppose you know anything about Crabble medicine, do you? That's about what I expected. Hold on now. You ain't tugging my leg, are you? You actually know something about Crabble medicine? Well, I'll be. So, it seems as though the issue ultimately boils down to 2 words. Purpleberry Crunch. Yeah. I brought a box from that fancy new shop in town, and Lucy... Oh, this is Lucy, by the way. Little Lucy became fully frantic when she smelled it, so I figured it couldn't hurt. The box says they're packed with healthy preservatives, so it's gotta be good for you, right? But I guess I was wrong. Now she won't get up. And these Crabbles, they mean the world to us. We raised them from hatchlings, and I'll be broken if Lucy dies because of me. Any help you can offer is more than I've been able to do for her so far, and I'd be grateful for the try. She looks fine. I can hardly believe my lamps. Looks like she's feeling much better, and I think she's taken a liking to you. Good luck shaking her off you now. Once they're smitten, they try and stick to you like a canid. Now, I don't have too many bits to pay you with, but this'll unlock that old safe in the house. It wasn't mine to begin with, so you're welcome to anything in it.
Another executive training exercise in the books. Another clear winner. Me.
Ain't a contest, Cutshaw.
Lucky for you. Today sure wasn't. No, we're all here because Ormsby thinks we're VP material. But it's obvious who's got the gray matter in this outfit. Take today's activity. Demonstrate market dominance with a corporate logo competitors will see from orbit. The results speak for themselves.
That rubbish pile you cajoled everyone into building? The giant
Loyal
AC?
subject.
We work for
Loyal
Auntie's choice.
subject.
What's your
La
point?
Well, it's awful convenient that your own initials are...
Okay, on to the fourth activity. This is Albert Cutshaw, sanitation specialist, future big-time VP, signing off.
Hello. How are you, El? Are you doing tonight? I'm spectacular according to Regulation 1, 2, potato? No, it was my backal lobe. Backal. Only the most loyal subjects have those. No, you're not an actual part of my brain. Ha! What I need is potatoes. I'm just, that sounds correct.
See those burrows? The skeleton's nearby. And if it's as nearby as I think, it don't bode well for those scientists. Huh. Seems this terminal reroutes power to speakers around the cave. They were using sound to lure the Krabbels out. Let's see here. Hope you're prepared for this. Let's not end up like these poor scientists, all right?
What's she doing? Is she stuck?
Let's not end up like these poor scientists, all right? Well, you hate to be proven right. These folk have been dead a while. And that must be the machinery Doc mentioned. Over here, Commander. Huh. Seems this terminal reroutes power to speakers around the cave. They were using sound to lure the Krabbels out. Let's see here. Generator's back on. Power up that phonotron, would you? Should cause enough ruckus to make the skeleton come out and play.
Hey, what am I supposed to do? Just stand around and look pretty?
Well, if the commander's keen to share, you can press the button too. Wouldn't want you feeling left out.
Ready to take the heat off. For you.
It's a brawl. Nice work. Mind bringing it over here so I can take a gander? Muscular reticulation still intact. Cartilaginous integrity mostly sound. A good clean cut. And the pincer's still sharp. Yeah, this'll do just fine. Shame about all the scientists, though. I was hoping this wouldn't be too steep a price. If you still got some hunting you, that Raptidon matriarch's on the loose. Her den's not far from the Vox Relay up north. Elsewise, we head back to Fairfield and speak to Doc Tinsley.
Slow down. Schultz went where? Alive. Anyone got lamps on Schultz? Anyone? Void be damned. Sallying into the wire like that with nary a wish in her pocket? What was she thinking? Did I not make clear our orders to hold the line here regardless of provocation? Should my instructions have been more robust? Perhaps assisted by pictures?
I'm afraid there's more. Bad news, Commander. She also took Scrabbles, sir.
Would that he'd done her more good. Seems Calamity has claimed 2 good soldiers today. You there. I don't normally sanction nameless passers-by giving ear to my private discourse. That right. Earth Directorate. Not many would claim such affiliation these days. None from Arcadia have the knowledge to lie about it. What's your business at the Vox? Sounds serious. Were it in my power to offer aid, you'd have it. Alas. Whatever your purpose, I feel a contractual obligation to warn you against setting a heel past this base. If you go any further, you go alone and at your own peril. No Antes forces are permitted beyond the forward position upon pain of disemployment and possible litigation. Our orders are to sit and mind the store for as long as need be. Foremost, I'd advise seeking a stealthier means of crossing the bridge. A direct approach is likely to repercuss in a hanging cage and a slow death, courtesy of that there warden. Our initial reconnaissance of the bridge indicated a breach in the western wall that could get you inside, though that was months ago. The intel could be outdated now. Schematics we managed to acquire also list an access tunnel on the eastern wall, but be wary of mines between here and there. The wire is full of unexploded ordnance. Yes, Warden Marilyn Weintraut. She's given us quite the licking while stationed here. Would that I could persuade that marvelous fiend to our side, but alas. She's a woman of stern arbitrament and uncompromising fealties. I doubt reasoning with her will net you any gains, but you don't seem the type easily thrown off either. Though I've cogitated on the matter at some length, I lack answers. Only those breathing the rarefied air of the upper rungs could say for sure. It's clear you are new to the region and therefore not well informed, so I'll pardon your ignorance this once, and do you the service of formally introducing myself. I am Commander Emil Torres, Aggressive Acquisitions. You might know me by my sobriquets: hero of the Second Incursion, liberator of Canid Springs Outpost. I should like to meet this trooper. He sounds like a man of informed discernment. Do not mistake me for unfeeling. I rue the bitter cost Schultz paid for her initiative. But such is the risk when defying orders. Holding the forward position may not have been the exciting post she'd hoped for, but I thought I'd impressed upon her its value the last time we spoke. By steadfastly holding the line here, we forestall any retribution the Protectorate would seek to inflict upon Fairfield. And we will continue, said watch, until orders change. Calamity digs its claws in deeper. Thank you for notifying me of their demise. I'll send a car for replacements, and pray we do not suffer another attack before then. I'd thank you to affix some ballast to that name when you speak it. Scrabbles has been integral to this unit's success for years. Outsiders may see him as a toy, but we've bled alongside that stuffed sprat. He's damn near family. Schultz obviously knew the risks and hoped he'd protect her through the minefield. Alas, even Scrabble's power has limits. Still would help morale to get him back, though. I'll pardon your skepticism given your lack of acquaintance, and say only this. Ask not what Scrabbles achieves for us, but what we can achieve with him. I half believed you meant that offer, unless you weren't being playful. I confess, the challenge of holding the forward position does not satisfy as might a straight-on tussle. But I would prefer to avoid staining my reputation by participating in such a needless blunder. Carr was, shall we say, non-ambiguous with her orders. Far be it from me to speak poorly of a superior, but I have pondered over her choices as of late. She's been sullen about sharing her strategy, too. Still, however brightly my star burns, I remain in her orbit. She is my superior officer. I defied her once, and I received the verbal tanning of a lifetime for it. I will take action when action is appropriate. And I'd suggest you modulate your tone more appropriately the next time we speak.
To relieve himself, but I reckon that was a handful of hours ago.
Stay out of the minefield if you value your limbs. I'll be spaced. Scrabbles! And hardly the worse for wear! You've no grasp of what his return means to this unit. Scrabbles was originally a gift from my daughter. He fought with us during the Consolidation War, and has seen this squad through every hard deployment since leaving Tau Ceti. He's also packed with some of the finest grade stimulants this side of legal. Here, for your trouble. Livener like that comes in handy when you're in a pinch. While we appreciate you returning Scrabbles, you'll not provoke me into a course of unwise action if that's your aim. Milver Street's always rambling about signs. Suppose this might fall under one such category. For the sake of discussion, let's say that I agree to this enterprise. Such non-compliance is unlikely to go over well with my direct report. How do you propose I handle Carr? Mind yourself. Regardless of our present dispute, I hold Carr in great esteem. Her accomplishments nearly rival my own. Even Carr answers to a higher authority. And given how Auntie Cleo places a greater value on ingenuity, initiative, and forward thinking, that decides it. I'll make a full account of my actions after the bridge has been neutralized and victory secured. Forthwith, as soon as we fortify ourselves, of course. Troopers, to me! We need to prepare. Our attack is imminent. We'll pay those bastards back for Schultz. This is what we've been waiting for, troopers. What all those days and nights of trial readied us for. We're delivering death, free of charge. Forward to victory, profits, and the furtherance of Auntie's glorious enterprise. As Scrabbles is my witness, we will achieve victory!
With you, Commander!
Keep your hand.
Great work.
Ready to waste them. On your command.
Position.
Looks like a fight.
How are you still upright over there?
They're dead. At least nobody else is going to be strung up.
The bridge is ours, and with nary a scratch to show for it. Thanks for your contributions to this great and honorable endeavor. For as long as we hold the bridge, safe passage is yours.
Is there any way...
Looks like we have a few hungry friends. Keep your finger on the trigger.
Give the order, and I'll take care of him, Commander.
Nicely handled, Commander. They should be here soon.
Nothing is ever simple.
Distraction for you. Appreciate a little help, Commander. Who you have my back? I'd like to have a word with whoever's in charge. We'll take them around here. Right after we deal with these rats.
Finally. Anything else the universe wants to throw at us while we're here?
Grievous wounds. At least one of my lungs meets the open air. Fell swiftly. Screamed for me to help, but I... arrived here to find the control. My weapon delivers magnetically contained electric charges. I inserted it into a conduit, hoping it would spring to life, but the Fairfield power controls have deteriorated. I wish I could admit relief that in my heart of hearts I wished my love to live, despite her traitorism.
Protectorate vestige. Guessing the cadre didn't make it in. Time to start poking around. We'll need all their armorial IDs to get in. Worry about. Over here! Three holes ahead!
Personal audio log, Sergeant Bornsworth. We've been deployed to deal with a new living weapon fielded by Auntie's forces. The previous squad was unprepared for this threat and was consequently torn asunder. Command's intel could never be so lacking as to allow this to occur. So why? They were lulling Auntie's choice into a false sense of security before launching counteroffensive teams. This will undoubtedly save far more lives than it cost. Another stroke of genius from Command. Praise the matriarch. Sergeant Bornsworth, signing off.
You finally arrived. Indeed, that seems to be the case. I mistook you for a different individual. You have my apologies. Military personnel, preferably the kind who can provide me with updated orders, and decidedly not with, nor in the presence of, anyone who has ever been associated with Auntie's Choice personnel.
I ended my association with Antes of my own accord, if that makes you feel better. Ain't here to do you harm.
Or so you say. I gathered that you weren't here to fight just by looking at you. Otherwise, we wouldn't be engaged in polite conversation. And as a loyal subject, it is my honor to continue to perform my assignment as per my orders, even if the duration of my assignment here has been considerable. I am procuring my rations from the populace of local aquatic fauna using a simple baited trap and the mechanical leverage afforded by a rod. Fishing. Bah. Those who would, when there's a war to fight, are not worthy of being called soldiers of the Protectorate. I wish to once again take the fight to Antes alongside my fellows. However, my wishes are irrelevant against the needs of the Protectorate and my assigned duties. Additionally, it would do my heart some good to know that my warden and assigned squad companions are well. The Protectorate does not forget its own. Ever. If I have not received new orders, then I am precisely where I'm intended to be. I'll not hear more of such nonsense. Good day.
Commander, just say when. Over here! We hold the head! I'm at it!
Hear that? It's challenging us. Raptidons are ever malleable. Eden doesn't want them around and they don't belong here. They sure they're armed and ready. Keep howling. We're coming for you. Lay low, Commander.
know when you need a distraction.
Looking a little... Here, all right. Let's put our heads together. See these half-eaten remains? They're a sign. Matriarchs lose their appetite when they're on the verge of going into a state of torpor. She'll have retreated into hiding to conserve her energy. But I got one way to get her attention. Hey, if I don't celebrate my own stroke of genius, who will? I'm just happy my acquaintance with these creatures counted for something. You know how Doc mentioned pheromones? Well, just so happened that I procured some Raptidon glandular extract in my travels. Should do the trick. A matriarch with 3 full stomachs ain't coming out of hibernation unless she senses a threat to her authority. She hates rivals. Oh, not a lot of people know about the hallucinogenic properties of Nebulium. Enhanced soldiers keep a vial in case we're captured. That renders us pretty useless to torturers. Let me think. Yeah. 3 parts pheromone and 2 parts Nebulium ought to do it. Use that as the lure and the matriarch won't know what hit her. Ready for this? All right, let's do this.
It's a pro!
Oh no! Why does it go to that option automatically?
You picked the very hard difficult? Need customer support?
Like the way he skips what he's saying every time. Yeah, it should not default to main menu. It should default to continue. So on. I should just get more ammo for this gun.
Sometimes I get the feeling we're not welcome here. Like the Protectorate folks resent us liberating them.
Whoever fixes this rift problem is definitely getting a whole side sweep of an Elysium view in head office tower.
everything. Got deals to kill them before.
Matriarch's here, all right. Let's put our heads together. See these half-eaten remains? She'll have retreated into hiding to conserve. Hey, you know how a matriarch with 3 full stomachs ain't. Huh? Let me. Ready for this? All right.
It's a brawl!
Oh, why'd you stop reloading?
Pick me up. I do it for you.
Oh, these damned bodies. Why can't we just bury the lot of them? I politely request you cease defiling the... Be forewarned. We are in a heightened state of alarm due to unprecedented events. Unless you have official business here, I suggest you move on. Move on and leave me to hang all of these bodies. Which I must shamefully confess may be beyond my capabilities. Even without your distraction. Is that you there? Why do you have an Auntie's Choice abomination in tow?
Careful now. You're speaking to a soldier who could put one between your eyes at 100 paces back. Lucky for you, I'm here in good faith.
Ugh, no matter. I cannot afford to worry over you. I have a grave number of bodies to hang and not enough time to hang them. Now what is it that you want? Vigilant Hogarth sent you? I wish I could help, but he's been named a traitor. These credentials might as well be stained in Protectorate blood. That being said, I am from Westport. If Hogarth trusts you, I'm willing to listen. The Brigadier sees enemies everywhere, sappers in every shadow. Approaching him under questionable license is to risk being shot. It's too dangerous for us both. While it pains me to act in what might be contrary to the Brigadier's personal conviction, I do believe the Sovereign would expect me to honor the Vigilance Station. Still, I can't simply have you saunter through the gates. It would cause a terrible stir. Though there must be a way. The gibbets. There is little view of who's within them, so I can use them to haul you into the station without notice. I won't lock them, so you can free yourself once inside. I remember her. She and I occasionally met to take pot shots at the local Crabble population. She worked on the command floor. There's a chance she lingers, quietly continuing her work. Or she could be dead. Regardless, it has been quite some time since I saw her. You may leave, or you may be carried within the walls. The choice is yours. Allow me to open them for you and your companions. Getting folks inside can be a little tricky, and try not to move much or they'll start swinging something fierce.
Can't believe that actually worked.
This cannot be happening. Not again. Come, quickly. We must all bear witness.
Technicians Acna and Gastrell, you stand accused of manufacturing a fatal flaw in one of our valued dragoons. Have you any last words to express your shame?
That dragoon was already defective. Oh, we were only rebuilding the logic assembly so that...
At last, the truth alights. I hope this belated confession unburdens your conscience, though it will do nothing to commute your sentence. On the charges of sabotage and treason most contemptible, I find you both guilty.
No, please! This is all a misunderstanding! We're loyal!
More loyal subjects executed. And valued technicians, no less. I cannot see how reducing our own manpower guides us down a path to victory. Wait, I recognize you. From Horizon Point. Yes, just outside the Skip Labs, before the incident. Didn't I set security on you? How are you here? Alive?
You got security called on you outside the Skip Labs?
You must have been the cause of everything that happened that day. And to think I could have stopped you. Perhaps I would have, if I'd not been so vexed over mere demerits. Let's call you a stranger then. That still doesn't explain how you gained access to the station, or why you're here at all. This entire dialogue is pointless. We'll both be dead soon enough, given current trends. If Montelli cannot find a reason for more executions, he'll invent one. The Protectorate is already perfect, but its subjects are not as infallible. That's why we must uphold one another in exactitude, lest we fall prey to discontentment. Or worse, I cannot believe Montelli is so far gone as to forget his true duty, or our friendship. If we were to work together, perhaps I could convince him to stand down. Go to his terminal. Search for any information on it that may be deployed against him. Also, while you're there, notify High Command that I'm taking control of the station. I'll admit there's some risk in having my actions misinterpreted. I could be named a traitor, as Vigilant Hogarth was. Or sent to mental refreshment. No. Surely High Command will understand the need for this transfer of power. What I do now, I do for the Protectorate, not myself. Besides, Montelli is not merely my superior. He's also an old friend. I must make some attempt to get through to him. Remind him of what true service to the Protectorate means. I'm not... How did you... By the Matriarch. If I'm so transparent to a stranger, Montelli will surely perceive the same weaknesses in my character. Much as I prefer a peaceable solution, you're right. The Protectorate would be made stronger by his passage. If he cannot serve as a general, he may yet serve as an example. It would still be best to investigate Montelli's terminal for anything that might unsettle or unbalance him before our confrontation. You will need your own access card to get upstairs. Blank keycards can often be found in the contraband room, and there's a terminal for encoding access in the security office. Head through the door to the right and continue down the hall. You should find your way without much trouble. Oh, but mind the guards. They'll still attack you on sight. I will join you as soon as you go to confront Montelli. In the meantime, I'll gather what weapons and allies I can.
All right.
Did you hear Montelli lost the thrusters?
I heard nothing. And neither did you.
But if the Vox relay launches, we won't be able to change its trajectory. It could land on one of our towns.
Are you questioning the actions of our brigadier?
No, of course not. What was... Enough of this wandering to and fro.
Waste them on your command.
Rough customers about.
I repudiate all like trouble. Some kind of slack-wet faffic.
Looks like a fight!
Disruptive influences!
Not getting up without help, Commander!
Oh, come on.
I heard nothing. And neither did you.
But if the box relay launches, we won't be able to change its trajectory. It could land on one of our towns. Huh? No, of course not. What was... Huh. Seems like...
Some photos.
Help you?
Armed and ready.
To the fray.
Anyone else? Here?
Guns cocked and loaded. Just get the signal.
Back in business.
Check enemy light just turned on.
Looks like a fight.
Prudence dictates, eye your neighbors carefully. Hey now. Gonna make me walk on over there, huh? Some malingerer, no doubt.
It's a bros. You're looking pretty scathed, Commander.
Yeah.
Enemy about. Unlock this.
A perfect society demands perfect thoughts. Imperfection is impossible when the mind is a thing of symmetry.